Now, some good things have been happening. For example, my friend Bob Murphy, Robert P. Murphy, was an excellent economist. And these days, that's almost an oxymoron, excellent economist. They've all totally disgraced themselves during this crisis, in my opinion. They've got all these sophisticated models, but when push comes to shove, it's all just, I don't know, spend, I don't know, and then if that doesn't work, just keep trying it over again, I don't know. And if that doesn't work, print up some more. I mean, that's it, that's all they're running around like chickens with their heads cut off, so they have disgraced the whole profession. So that is now creating a void for the normal people to walk into. The sound, sophisticated economists who are so sophisticated, they understand that you don't create extra wealth by printing green pieces of paper. Ain't that amazing? The geniuses we have, but in fact we do have real, genuine geniuses on our side. Any of our people can debate any of their people with, half their brains tied behind their back. But Bob took this opportunity where people now are listening on issues about the economy. They're not listening when they're flipping houses and making 50 grand in a week. Nobody's listening to, wait a minute, I think this boom is unsustainable. Yeah, why don't you go jump in a lake, buddy? I'm making a fortune. No one wants to listen. Now they're listening. So Bob has risen to the occasion, and he wrote a fantastic book that I urge you to read. Because I know we've all read books on FDR, and we sort of feel like we know about the New Deal. But in terms of the Austrian School of Economics and sound money, the best book on this, after Murray Rothbard's book, America's Great Depression, is Bob Murphy's new book, The Politically Incorrect Guide to the Great Depression and the New Deal. Because this book is sound on the Fed. A lot of times you get people who are critical of FDR, but they're kind of mushy on the Fed. That they think the Fed's problem was it didn't inflate enough. No, that's not the Fed. That's never the Fed's problem. Believe me, that's never the problem. So Bob has done an absolutely masterful job with this, and again, risen to the occasion, because now we've got the American population listening, so he wrote very quickly and turned this thing around, and it's an absolute masterpiece, and it's wonderful. Now, my own book, Meltdown, has had some success because it was, New York Times bestseller. It's just wonderful, 10 weeks, forward by Ron Paul. What more could you ask for? But interesting, the New York Times will not review it. They have refused to review it. But you know what? I don't even care. Because have you been reading the news? The New York Times is going down. But the reason I did this book was, again, people are listening. So now we have this window of opportunity. I was about to say a brief window of opportunity. I don't know how long this depression is going on, but it probably won't be that brief a window, unfortunately. But all the same, a window of opportunity once we have people's attention to say, wait a minute, what the propagandists are telling you is wrong. What they're telling you is the exact opposite of the truth, and everything they recommend will make things worse, is the opposite of what needs to be done. And so I wanted to get this word out quickly, and I'm very glad that I've been able to spread the word. People have been going out buying it. People have asked me, what's your next book going to be? And I don't actually know what my next project is, because my problem is, I write a book and then I get onto some other project so quickly, I never have time to promote the previous one adequately. So this one I'm probably going to be just promoting until people are just committing atrocities against me. They're just tired of hearing about this thing. So those are my current activities. I've been writing a lot of articles as follow-ups on it, explaining why fiscal stimulus doesn't work, why monetary stimulus doesn't work, why Obama's economic philosophy is all screwed up. This is all stuff that you can find at LouRockwell.com under my article archive. But now, there is, however, the great exclamation mark book coming up later this year. Now, I have not seen the manuscript for this book, but I have it on pretty good authority. This guy knows what he's talking about. And that's Ron Paul's book, End the Fed, coming in September. We are so not supposed to be doing this, and yet we're doing it anyway. And so, as I said, I haven't read it, but I understand, having talked to Dr. Paul about it, that it's sort of his recollections over the years and years of being a congressman, of his own experiences with Fed chairman, his own political concerns about the Fed. It's all in there. It's got a cute little cover, as in case some of you have seen it and already ordered it on Amazon. So I hope people set up a nice book bomb for him, and it just goes berserk. But then beyond this, we've got non-book events going on as well. I suppose some of you are probably viewers of Judge Napolitano's Freedom Watch. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I urge you to go to a website that was just spontaneously created by fans of the program. Right now it's just an internet program. It's called freedomwatchonfox.com, and that's not a misprint, by the way. I realize this is the Fox News channel. But they've given Andrew Napolitano, Judge Napolitano, a program, 2 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays for an hour. And he has had all the forbidden guests on you can imagine. Again, you're not supposed to hear from these people. And yet there he is listening to them, agreeing with them, and the word is now that there is serious consideration being given to putting this program on the air. And I like you see, light and truth, they just need a little crack. They just need to get in a little crack to have their effect. And just 1 hour a week where you get the truth and where you don't get phony debates. Should the top income tax rate be 39% or 38.7%? But real debates. Hey, do we need a crummy income tax? No, like a real, actual debate. So again, maybe they might want to hear from you. So that's wonderful news. I'm very happy to hear the consideration that Rand Paul is giving to the Senate. Let me say a little something about his putative opponent in the Republican primary. Should I mention his name? Do we want to mention names tonight? Is this a night name? Name night? Okay. No, people say no, don't mention his name. Yeah. All right. Yes. All right, Trey Grayson. Like I don't know who this guy is. He's the Secretary of State for Kentucky. The interesting thing about Trey Grayson is he was in my graduating class at Harvard. So I actually knew this guy. He's a perfectly nice guy, but a total bore. I mean, just total middle of the road on everything. So I was, in my junior year of college, I will admit I was the vice president of the college Republicans. And then, I learned about everything that was going on, and at one point I actually said I wanted to resign. But he was never a member of our club, and I am told, I have not verified this, that he was a Clinton delegate. So, with memories of Arlen Specter fresh in the air, this might not be the best candidate for the Kentucky establishment to go with, but he's the perfect candidate because, who knows what he's, the next bailout they want, he'll vote for it. The next war, whatever it is, sure, count me in. It's the same sort of drone we're all accustomed to, who would normally be swept into the nomination, but instead we have a real, non-drone human being going against him. Then we'll see what the Kentucky GOP is really made of. Do you want a drone? Or do you want somebody who will actually change things, who will actually take the rhetoric seriously? Well, we're about to find out. Now, I'm happy to report from my own place of employment, the Ludwig von Mises Institute, that we are enjoying fantastic growth because people now, again, are listening. They want to know the truth. They don't want to listen to all the blockheads who have been wrong for years. They want to listen to people who know what they're talking about. So we're getting so many people coming to our programs, we've got to reorganize the whole building. We're going to knock walls down, build bigger lecture halls, use our third floor just to accommodate all the people. So in a way, it's kind of a shame. The whole economy is just misery everywhere, but it is a total bull market for truth. In 1979, Pope John Paul II visited Poland for the first time. He would visit that country 9 times. And when he visited there, he told the Poles that the division of Europe and the Iron Curtain that had existed since Yalta would not persist forever. Now that was significant enough, but what was perhaps even more significant was that so many hundreds of thousands, even millions of people came out to see him on his various stops. And they looked around at each other, and perhaps for the first time it dawned on them how many of them they were, and how few the crummy ruling class really were. And this realization suddenly struck them. Wait a minute. Why are we allowing ourselves to live under this rotten regime? Well, we do not constitute quite the same majority that they did. But we are one fired up, energetic, never say die minority.